When I was a little kid, my neighbor and I used to drive the old car that sat up on blocks in his driveway. His dad was fixing it up, and so the tires were off the ground. We'd climb in, grab the wheel, make engine sounds, and we pretended we were racing off some important places. And honestly, it was fun, at least for a while. For eventually, you realize something. A car on blocks looks powerful, but it ain't going anywhere. Now, fast forward a few years. I turned 16 and got my driver's license. Suddenly, I wasn't pretending anymore. I pressed the gas pedal and actually felt the engine move. There was power there. Then, a few years later, when I was 18, my older sister let me borrow her Datsun 280Z. That thing was like a rocket. She allowed us to drive it down, my friend and I, down to the coast. 2 hours down the highway, windows down, engine roaring, freedom! That car had purpose, and that car had power. And today, on the Pentecost, that's exactly what Jesus gives the church: purpose and power. See, before Jesus gives the apostles the Holy Spirit in the gospel, he first gives them a mission. He says, "As the Father has sent me, so I send you." That's purpose. And what was he sent to do? Jesus was sent to heal the sick, to bind up the wounded, to forgive sins, to seek the lost, to free captives, to reveal the Father's mercy, and to bring the gospel to the world. And now he says, "I'm sending you." Not just the apostles, all of us. Every baptized Christian has this mission. Now, sometimes we think as Christianity is mainly about avoiding sin and trying to be a decent person. And yes, holiness matters, and absolutely, it's important. But Christianity is not passive. Jesus did not say, "As the Father has sent me, now stay comfortable." He did not say, "As the Father has sent me, now stay safe." He says, "As the Father has sent me, now I send you." That means our lives have direction. Our lives have meaning, and our lives have purpose. Last week, at the Ascension, we heard the Great Commission Father talked about, right? "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations." That wasn't a suggestion. That is the mission of the church. Before you're going to leave, you're probably going to say something really important to people. And that's what Jesus was doing. And we hear that makes us uncomfortable. Because deep down, we may think, okay, but I can't do that. You're right. You can't. Neither can I. Not alone. Because the Christian life is impossible to live without the Holy Spirit. That's why Jesus gives us the mission first, and then gives us the power. In the gospel, it says, "As the Father has sent me, so have I sent you." And then Jesus, what does he do? He breathes on them and says, "Receive the Holy Spirit." That changes everything. Because Pentecost is not just a celebration of something that happened 2,000 years ago. Pentecost is about what God is doing today. Apostles before Pentecost were fearful, confused, and behind locked doors. After Pentecost, they were bold, courageous, joyful, and unstoppable. Same people, different power. And here's what's incredible. That same Holy Spirit has been given us today. In our baptism, you receive the Holy Spirit. And in confirmation, we receive the fullness of the Holy Spirit. The Catechism says in paragraph 1303 that confirmation brings a special outpouring of the Holy Spirit, the same kind of outpouring experienced at Pentecost. Think about that. The same Spirit that descended upon the apostles descends upon every confirmed Christian. Why? Not so we can sit on spiritual blocks, not so we can keep faith private, not so we can say, well, religion is just a personal thing. No. God gives power for purpose. The Catechism says confirmation strengthens us in 5 incredible ways. It deepens our identity as sons and daughters of God. It unites us more firmly to Christ. It increases the gifts of the Holy Spirit. It binds us more perfectly to the church. And it gives us strength to defend and proclaim the faith without shame. Without shame? That's huge right now, isn't it? Because we live in a world where people are increasingly afraid to speak about Jesus, afraid to stand for truth, afraid to be visible Christians, afraid to be rejected. But Pentecost is the opposite of fear. The Holy Spirit turns fearful disciples into bold witnesses. And some of us today are living like that old car on blocks. We've received tremendous power from God, but we're not moving. The engine's there, the grace is there, the gifts are there, but we're stayed locked in the upper rooms. Faith has become comfortable, private, and safe. We know a lot about Jesus, but we rarely speak about him outside of church. The Holy Spirit prompts us. It prompts us to get the wheels on the ground. The tires hit the road. And what does that mean? It's when we feel that butterflies inside of us, right? To forgive someone. That is the Holy Spirit. That's when the tires hit the road. To serve someone. Go out of our way. That is the tires hitting the road. To invite someone back to Mass. When we're scared and we have butterflies. Oh, what if they say no? To pray with our spouse. Or pray with other people who are hurting. To lead our family spiritually. To stop compromising with sin. And to finally trust God completely. That is when the tires hit the road. And that's what we're called to. But we hesitate. Pentecost says, I've given you everything you need. Now drive. Not because you're strong, but because the Holy Spirit is strong. One of the biggest lies we believe is I'm not ready. Neither were the apostles. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Thomas doubted. The others ran away. And yet God still chose them and filled them with power. Because God does not wait for perfect people. He fills surrendered people. And that is the invitation today. Not to become impressive, but to be available. to say, Holy Spirit, use my life. That's dangerous prayer, by the way, when you pray that, because the Holy Spirit never leaves us unchanged. He pushes us forward toward mission, towards courage, towards holiness, towards people who need hope. He pushes us to get our tires on the road. And our world desperately needs Spirit-filled Christians right now. People who actually believe in the gospel. People who faith changes how they live. People who are joyful. People who forgive. And people who are courageous. People who are unashamed to speak about Jesus Christ. Because the world does not need more Christians sitting spiritually in parked cars. The world needs disciples on fire with the Holy Spirit. So today, on Pentecost, the prayer is simple. Lord, remind me of my purpose. And, Holy Spirit, help me use the power you have already given me. Because God never gives mission without also giving the grace to fulfill it. As the Father sent Jesus, Jesus now sends us. And the same Holy Spirit that descended at Pentecost is still being poured out today. Come, Holy Spirit. Let's try that. Come, Holy Spirit.